Let me begin with a story. So when I was a kid, my father and I would often bring home stray puppies, much to the horror of my mother. We would bathe them, we would feed them, we would pick the ticks off them, gross, and basically give them a 5-star spa treatment. But that's the first time I actually learned empathy. Not from a teacher, not from a classroom, but from this scruffy little fur ball, his eyes looking up at me with love and gratitude, in knowing that empathy is not something which is only reserved for humans. Most of the lessons that I carry today, I did not learn in a classroom. Instead, I learned algebra, I learned theorems, I learned parts of a cell. Tell me, how many of you sitting in a classroom ever wondered, perhaps while learning history, geography, where am I going to apply this in the real world? I know I did. Exactly. But you know what? How many of us were actually taught how to recover from failure, or to practice empathy, or to stand up for what we believe in? The truth is, we were preparing for exams, but not for the real tests that life would throw at us. I once taught a boy in South Africa. He was an asylum seeker. In fact, a survivor of being a child soldier. Quiet, guarded, but determined. I taught him English, but honestly, my classroom had no space for his pain. I did not have any tools to help him rebuild trust. There was no subject that could teach him how to hope, how to heal. Now, from my classroom, far away from my classroom in South Africa, let me take you to a dusty village in India where I met Soni. Now, Soni was the mother of 2 little girls that we were supporting at Empower Her India. Soni was married when she was just 13. No rights, no voice, no agency. Yet, Soni walked 30 kilometers through the forest, through the rain, through her exhaustion, just so that she can drop her 2 little girls to the residential school so that they get the life that Soni didn't have. Now, both these stories, instances, they carry the same message for me, that courage and resilience are not electives. They are not taught, they are not measured, yet they are the very foundation how a human survives, thrives, and finds dignity. Reflecting back at my 20-something, well, almost 20 years of experience in the social impact space and just life at large, I come to see now that qualities like resilience, like courage, and even self-trust, they came to me much later in life, but I needed them much earlier. And that's why I believe that these are not electives. They are the missing subject in every classroom. So why is this the case? Let's explore. Number 1, we measure the wrong things. From grade 1 to graduation, what are we measured on? Ranks, percentages, marks, and anything that cannot be measured on a report card is treated as irrelevant, right? So if if you're punishing innovation, how is a country going to move forward? Number 2, teachers are overburdened and underprepared. Now, teachers are expected to make lesson plans. They are expected to deliver rigid curriculums. But how many of them are actually trained or taught to deliver life skills or to hold space for a child's emotional world? How many? Third, policy and practice are not the same thing. The problem is not that we don't understand that values are important. The problem is that the system makes it almost impossible to prioritize them. The subject that holds the entire system together is the first to be sidelined. This is the missing subject. We must, if we want education to help prepare our children for life, we must bring back that missing subject. So how do we do this, right? Well, there are 4 essentials in my mind. By no means exhaustive, but yet extremely critical, right? So number 1, firstly, how to fail better. So if failing was a subject, I'm telling you, I would have topped my class. But jokes apart, what does failure mean to us today? Shame, stigma, silence. But failure is it's the very foundation of innovation, of growth, of courage. Number 2, how to disagree. Now, this might sound like science fiction, but imagine a world where X taught us how to argue with dignity. No one really teaches us how to disagree the right way, that you can confront without tearing someone down. Number 3 is learning how to be a beginner again. Now, toddlers do this the best. They fall down, they get up. They fall down, they get up. And they don't care if they're looking foolish, stupid, it doesn't matter, right? But classrooms teach us to be masters, to be experts, to just get it right. The missing subject is to be a beginner again, to step into the unknown without the fear of looking foolish. And lastly, finally, it is preserving curiosity in the age of AI. Machines can give us endless answers in a matter of seconds, but only you and I can ask the questions that truly matter. The future is not going to belong to people who can do what machines can do. It's going to belong to those who can do what machines can't. Discern, question, choose with conscience. You know, a day will come when every child is going to face life without having a textbook to turn to. And in that moment, they will only have, their guide will only be the values that we've given them or that we failed to. This is the missing subject. And just like once upon a time, that scruffy little furball gave me a lesson in empathy before any other textbook did, we must give our children the values that will carry them through life. Because in the end, education is not just about building India. It's about building Indians. Thank you.